New Balance says that this is the best running shoe that they make. And they also say that it's the most versatile. I've now logged over 100 miles in the 1080 version 12, so it's time to talk about whether this shoe has lived up to their hype. 8.35 miles, 9 minutes, 36 seconds per mile, and 139 beats per minute today, going for an easy run with some strides to round out my testing of the New Balance 1080 version 12. And before I give you my thoughts on this shoe and how it's fared over the last 100 miles, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of shoes that I bought myself. No one sent it to me. No one's paying me to make this video, and no one's going to get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So with that disclosure out of the way, let's talk about the New Balance 1080 version 12 after 100 miles. First, let's talk about how I've been using this shoe. I've been using this shoe as a cushion daily trainer / max cushion shoe. It's 34 millimeters of stack height in the heel with an 8 millimeter drop, giving us 26 millimeters of Fresh Foam X in that forefoot. And that foam is a foam that is really good at absorbing impact from the road. It's easy on the body, but it still feels bouncy. It's still an exciting foam to be able to run in. The Fresh Foam X foam itself can really rack up the miles, and the shape of this shoe, it's got that curve in the front, giving it a little bit of a rocker that really helps the shoe roll forward and lets you get into a nice rhythm with the shoe, especially when you've got some nice music going on, the weather's nice, and you're just rolling at an easy conversational pace. It's a great companion to have with you for the run. The Hypo Knit on the upper is super comfortable and stretchy and feels very premium. And one of the things that I appreciate the most about it is that they went with a pretty normal standard tongue. Usually for a shoe that's a little bit more comfortable like this one is, the temptation is always to put a really puffy tongue up on here to make you feel a little bit more plush when you're first putting that shoe on. But usually for me, I just feel like that just turns into a sweat sponge. That doesn't happen with the 1080 version 12. They were restrained here as they were with the rest of the shoe all the way back in the collar. There's a little bit of padding just to keep things comfy, but not so much that it gets hot. So I really feel like this upper is excellent for the 1080 version 12. Now, overall, it comes in at a little bit of a heavy weight, 10.3 ounces or 292 grams. But because of that shaping of the shoe, because of the way they've tied everything together, it really rolls well for easy long runs, recovery runs, and just generally all of your other easy regular training days. Now, I don't love it at faster speeds. I did have it for some strides in today's workout, and it eventually can get there, but it doesn't really like quick pace changes. And for me, I just feel like I've got to put a lot into it to get it and keep it at some faster speeds. But when it comes to like easy speeds, easy plus, maybe up in even to the moderate range, I feel like the shoe is a really good set it and forget it cruise control type of shoe. So the type of people that I would really recommend this shoe for is for people that want a little bit more cushion than the standard daily trainer might provide, but they also maybe don't want quite as much cushion as what you might find in a max cushion shoe. That's where I kind of feel like the sweet spot of this shoe is. Or for someone that's really looking to start upping the mileage, this is something that's going to let you do that while still giving you a lot of that daily trainer feel. The other type of person that I would really recommend this for is the type of runner that might be a little bit bigger or taller than me, someone that's going to be a little bit more into the shoe, where a regular daily trainer might not be giving them enough comfort and cushion to absorb the impact of the miles. The 1080 version 12 is a very easy shoe for me to recommend. Now let's talk about some of the wear and tear and how this shoe has been holding up after the 100 miles. I'll say overall, as far as the upper goes, this one still looks absolutely pristine. It still feels really fantastic to put it on. Everything that they've done, especially in terms of fixing the heel, is just working really well, and the quality is definitely there, which you would expect from a shoe that's a little bit more pricey than your average daily trainer. As far as the midsole goes, that Fresh Foam X still feels really nice. I feel like overall it's a pretty durable foam in terms of how it functions as part of like a midsole system. Feels really great. Doesn't feel like I've got a 100-mile shoe underfoot. It just feels like there's going to be plenty of life in the shoe. The only place where I'm seeing like a little bit of wear and tear that's more than I would normally like to see at 100 miles is on the outsole. Now we've kind of got two things going on here. We've got this blown rubber and then we have a couple of exposed portions. Here where like the majority of the exposed foam is, I feel like they did a really good job of not putting rubber there because I don't think you really need it. The areas that I am seeing wear though is really on kind of like the outer edge of the shoe, and I think because I'm using the shoe for some of my slower and easier days, that's why I'm seeing it in a little bit of a different pattern than I would see wear on a shoe that I'm running in for a little bit of a faster kinds of workout. So I'm seeing some extra wear on the edge, and I'm seeing it not only in the rubber in kind of like the main areas where I would expect to see wear. I'm seeing a lot of it on the outer portion of the heel, but I'm also seeing it on the outer portion of the forefoot as well. I don't think functionally it's going to be a problem at all. Really, it's just cosmetic, but that wear is there, and the outsole rubber that was there is taking a little bit of a beating in terms of wearing down. The other spot that there's a little bit more wear than I'd like to see is right in this forefoot, this little pod specifically in like kind of like the center of the pads of my foot. That one is wearing down really fast. There is a little bit of wear. I'm not saying the shoe's falling apart by any means. Still feels like there's plenty of grip left in there, and there was a lot of rubber on the outsole to start. I don't think that this is going to wear down too soon, but it is on both the right and on the left shoe wearing down kind of in the same areas on each side. And one other thing that I wanted to mention in terms of my overall thoughts is that I think that this shoe is true to size. I went with my regular size 9 in it, and I feel very comfortable in it. I think it feels great. The New Balance website does recommend that you do go size down, but I feel like I don't really need to do that, especially because of the way that I've been using this shoe. I've been using it for days where I feel a little bit more beat up, where I could use a little bit of comfort. And for me, comfort is space in that toe box, especially right up here towards that pinky toe. And I felt like going with the same size 9 not only felt right, but I felt comfortable, and I really wouldn't want to size down in it at all. So that's kind of my take on the sizing. Now, the big question is this the best shoe that New Balance makes? And I think that was a really weird thing for them to do on the website, is to put that out there. Now, I'm guessing that it might be one of their best sellers. They may move the most units of the 1080. That doesn't always mean that it's the best shoe. And for me, the short answer to the question of is the 1080 version 12 the best shoe that New Balance makes? I think the short answer is no. And there's kind of two reasons for that. One is we still haven't seen all of New Balance shoes for this year. And of shoes that aren't even out yet, there's the SC Trainer, there's the SC Elite 3 that are going to be coming out that are going to be really exciting, that use a different foam, that fuel cell foam, and both are plated. Then we also have other shoes that I'm really excited about, the Rebel version 3, as well as the Fresh Foam More version 4. So right there you have several shoes that could possibly be better than the 1080, but you also have other shoes that are already out on the market that I personally think are better than the 1080, and that is going to be the 880 version 12. I am absolutely loving this shoe. It's going to be one of my favorite daily trainers of the year. It's got a lot of the same kind of like DNA as the 1080 does, and in fact they look pretty similar as well, especially with these matching colorways. It's got that Fresh Foam X in the midsole, but it's a little bit thinner of a midsole, which makes it a little bit less cushion, but a lot more bouncy and lively. It's a much more exciting shoe to run in, and I feel like it is way more versatile than the 1080 is. So if I were gonna say right now of the shoes that are out, which is the best New Balance shoe, I'd probably go with the 880 version 12. It's more of the standard daily trainer category. But if you're looking for something with a little bit more cushion than that, then I think the 1080 is an excellent choice. By no means is this a bad shoe. I'm just not sure it's New Balance's best shoe for the year. So those are my thoughts on the 1080 version 12 after 100 miles. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. I'd love to talk to you down there, or better yet, stop by the live stream that I do Monday through Friday right here on YouTube. I'd love to talk to you guys in the chat. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I will see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?